Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Vicky 3. This is episode 13 with just 3 years left in the playthrough. Everything is on the line. Our overlord, France, had gone from friendly to not friendly, and they've been trying to make those relations worse and worse and worse over time. Right now, they are just at neutral, and the reason for all of that was that ultimately they decided they didn't want us to pay them. They wanted us to be within their borders fully, completely. They are in a full conquer move right now. It's now or nothing. The great news, we have gotten the United States to side with us. That's just happened in the last couple of days, game time wise. So the political play is on now. The U.S. ultimately is stronger than France, but do they commit fully? Can we withstand the French while the U.S. mobilizes? I mean, how committed to this war are they? How committed to this war will France be? For me, we upgraded everything we could in terms of the strength of our military to up the power projection. How much of a fight can we put up? How long can we withstand them if this fight goes to the end? Now, if they back down, the war goal, independence. We are aiming for independence. So either they are going to absorb us completely, and that's the end of the playthrough, or we have independence heading into the final 3 years of the playthrough. I think the next step for us is I need some generals. We have two fronts. This is French territory. This is French territory already. So I don't think they would bother with a naval invasion, but either way, if the front is right here, the front would extend across anyway. So we do want to utilize both fronts, which means I need two generals to recruit. Alright, so we are going to begin mobilization with our two generals, both from the military themselves. So we are not taking anybody random. You can see our two fronts here, but you can see that the U.S. is right on the other side of France, so we actually would have a double front to close them down if others do get involved. We can activate the conscripts. Let's hold off on that at the moment. And meanwhile, of course, that revolution is still brewing. Let's see what happens from here. Okay, mobilization is getting started, and they have not backed down as of right now. But they want the full annexation of Ashanti, so yeah, ouch on that part. And the Guinea Treaty port as well. Alright, mobilization ongoing for each of the nations now. It's just getting scary. On the front itself, though, still just us. Which means we might actually quickly take territory. It does get to it, but we are starting to get into that later phase. They are uncertain, but for now they continue on. Maybe we need to add a war goal of more than just independence while we're still in this phase. Like, say, war reparations. Oh, there you go. 10% of tax income. You know how much that would be for us in the last few years of this playthrough? Independence and war reparations. Okay, I do think, now that we are drawing closer to the final phase, I do think we need to activate our conscripts. As we're going to need everything we can get. Okay, they remain uncertain. They are almost fully mobilized. And we are almost fully mobilized. Oh boy. Looks like this is happening. Looks like it's happening. Meanwhile, those gold reserves are going to fall off quickly, but we've got some for now. Oh boy, it's entering the final phase here, and they are still going after it. As for the front, it's just us. So they have not placed any units on the front as of right now. meaning we could actually very quickly conquer this nearby French land. Oh boy, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Because how committed will the US be? There is the French. There is the French on the US border. 32 divisions on the US border. Russia and Austria have their own conflict going on just nearby. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're there. Looks like it's happening. They added a bit more. I'm guessing that's Jambi. They must have activated their conscripts. Ah! Okay. Well, 3 years to go in the playthrough. Might be less. Might be more. The US is on our side. They have less units, but they have a higher power projection. But at the moment, they have not committed anything to the front. And the French have. Is there another front? Again, the French have committed to taking all of this. Okay, well, first things first. On this front. On this front, we want to take it. They have no... So on the Niger front, we want to attack. Let's go conquer that little bit of land. Nothing garrisoned there, so yes. We are not advancing on the other front, though, because they have troops right there. If we advance in, I have a feeling it'll merge the fronts very quickly. I have a feeling it's going to merge the fronts very quickly anyway. Therefore, defensive. And that's why we want to free these troops up, so that we're only fighting on one front, theoretically. That's the idea. There you go. They're up to... Now, the U.S. is finally starting to pull some units to the front. And France has pulled some units to the front on us, and we are not much of a match. Is the U.S. too late to the party? Seems like they may just be. They've brought more troops forward. Okay. Did we just take that? That front's gone, is it not? Yeah, they're advancing over here. Okay, the U.S. began conscription 10 days ago. The obligation to the U.S. started 10 days ago, so that's a good sign. So, big lesson learned, pre-plans about offering something only happens once it's actually engaged. Now, if they back down, well, we don't know if they back down situation on the obligation. Okay, our general has moved. Yeah, there we go. Both generals now on this front. Which is looking a little bit like us getting absolutely hammered here because our offense and defense is a 17 and a 22 to an 85 and a 215. So we want to be very defensive because at least that's a closer matchup. You're not going to go offensive against 17 versus 215. 22 versus 85 is not good either. But if we can hold them off for a little bit, we need the U.S. We don't stand a chance without the U.S. I think I might need to put a stop to our construction queue as well here in the next little bit. The U.S. adds 1 unit. The U.S. at least winning an active battle there. But here in this active battle, we are losing. It's going to back up the front. Another active battle, and we are losing quite quickly here. Not looking good. Not looking good. And the U.S. is just not bringing the troops in that they need. I have a feeling we are going to lose. Can the U.S. hang on and actually offer something? Right now, it's clear that they are not committing to this fully. By any stretch of the imagination, they are the number 2 great power versus the number 1 great power. We have created the essential world war, but it looks like the United States has decided that they don't want to be much of a part of it. And we are quickly losing control of Ashanti. Yeah, we are not doing much to hold up. And yeah, look how slow the U.S. is to bring in. Folks, I think this is the end. The end was supposed to be in 3 years anyway, but Yeah, this is not going well. I mean, at least we closed off that one front briefly, but we are very quickly getting our butts handed to us. We have stopped them on a couple little engagements here and there. Stopped the advancement, but every proper one that they commit to, they're beating us. And meanwhile, the U.S. Now the U.S. is finally starting to get involved up here. That's just the extension of that front, where the U.S. still only has 28 units committed. We are almost completely conquered in Ghana. Yeah, a 94% disadvantage. And now we're into Togo, and the U.S. is just not bringing units forward. Let's pause for a second, see if anything has changed over here. Not much. Boy, the U.S. does not seem too interested in this war. Other wars ongoing. This has definitely not become World War I as we know it. But our ability to withstand the might of the French, I knew we'd never stand a chance. We are slowing them down. I mean, we have survived months so far. But with the U.S. just barely committing to this thing, it looks like it's going to be over quite soon. Looks like no active advancement on the other front. France is really just focused in on breaking us down at this stage. And we are, very much backed into the corner. Just holding off Dahomey, the last territory that we've got here. And one battle after another, we are seeing ourselves in a world of hurt, for sure. It's not going well. We're at minus 50 now. I think minus 100 is war over. Now minus 58. And yeah, the U.S. just not committing fully to this fight. We're holding out. We've held out all the way to 1934. We've held out to 1934. I mean, at least there's that, but it's nearly done. Yeah, all three fronts are going poorly with the U.S., barely committed to it. We have 40,000 dead. At least the French have 123,000 dead. There's that. That's a minus 100. And capitulation. We have been annexed by the French. Right up till the end, though. Right up till the end. We were doing well. Had just 2 years to go till the end of the playthrough. Okay, well, that is not the end of the episode. By any stretch of the imagination, we still have some time left. We're going to get at least an introduction to our next nation. So I'll be setting that up. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance. I should have, at least the last episode, I should have already posted something requesting who's next. I forgot to do so. And therefore, here we are, and I'm recording 2.5 more episodes today of Vicky 3. This is a Vicky 3 day for me, so I'm going to have to just get straight into it, unfortunately, on that part, but we did well otherwise. We really did well. Learned a ton in this playthrough. Did a lot that we couldn't do in the last one, and yet our hands were still tied through so much of this. We were able to expand in 2 ways, and both times just a little bit. Only once were we able to make a diplomatic play and conquer a neighbor. And then, of course, a single province into a neighboring state of expansion through colonialism, through colonizing. But, of course, the U.S. was the one who quickly put a stop to that as they were colonizing much faster in the same area. For the next playthrough, I'm going to pick up, in a way, immediately where we left off. We had risen in power with Ashanti from just outside of the top 100 all the way up to 39th in the rankings. And as I was looking around deciding where to go next, one, I wanted to get outside of colonization this time. We made a real play through that the first couple of times, and of course being in Africa meant we were the ultimate target. We almost survived on that last playthrough, getting so close, 2 years from the end of the playthrough, but Persia happens to be exactly the rank we finished off at. And Persia has a good GDP, has a population base, has plenty of arable land. Literacy is not good. The standard of living is not good. So there's good things, but there's bad things. There's also potential in the land around. So not through colonization, but through military might. But then we've got to watch out. Russia touches our northwestern border. The Ottoman Empire covers our western border. We have the Persian Gulf, so we will have access, as well as Caspian Sea. Not that I know if that makes much of a difference, but it looks like there might be some sort of sea route across there. But plenty of land expansion opportunities surrounding us to the north and east, and then technically also to the south. Saudi Arabian desert, right, could be a good opportunity to expand as well. So Persia, with the threat of a couple strong neighbors, and if you get too big, the East India Company and Great Britain eventually, but plenty of expansion opportunities on this one. So somebody who's a little bit stronger, but is still ultimately an unrecognized regional power. I think we're going to have a lot more possibility in this playthrough than we had in the previous two, but the core mechanics are now something I've come to grips with and feel more confident that we can take on a larger nation with a lot more at play actively and see if we can't grow them into something a bit stronger. And welcome to Persia, land of not much green, lots of mountainous territory, and you can see a lot of our arable land is seemingly along the shoreline. Last time we had 4 technologies total in 1836. Right now in production alone, we have 6 technologies already researched. On the military side, we also already have 7 techs researched. And on the society side of things, we also have 9 researched. So big head start compared to what we had last time. I think we might want to get academia on the go because literacy rate is low, standard of living is low. Those are 2 obstacles that I think we want to overcome as soon as possible to kind of catch up with some of the other areas that we have. Right now, the landowners control half of the government. They have a lot of clout. And the one group that's very unhappy, of course, is the intelligentsia. That makes perfect sense as literacy rates are low and they're not in power. We have 99% legitimacy right now. We could pass religious schools. It's not a great system, but my oh my, that would education access goes up, conversion goes up. Charity hospitals also a possibility. Public health insurance. Traditionalism. Right now we have interventionism. Agrarianism. Oh yeah, that was one we wanted so bad in the last playthrough. We must have romanticism unlocked first. So we might want to get romanticism early. Dedicated police force could be good. Ooh, serfdom is already abolished. So that's a good start. I wonder what going straight to public health insurance would look like. One that would really help the standard of living. Definitely be costly in the bureaucracy, but mortality would be much improved. We can't do it because we do not have pharmaceuticals or medical degrees. But the religious schools could happen, and the traditionalism could happen, or the police force. I think that's our 3 areas we can have a go at right now. Okay, we don't want to go back to traditionalism. We want to go forward to something like agrarianism, so we need the romanticism. So that one's not happening. Advancing to religious schools, I think could be a good start. Nobody's happy about having no police. We're going to make a lot of people happy if we get the dedicated police force, and it looks like it would pass pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and get that one done first. Wow, we have states. Not just 2, like we started with last time, but eventually technically having 4. But realistically, we had 3. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So we have 10 states to start this one. Debris has a huge GDP. And accounts for the majority of what we have. It has government administration times 3, a couple textile mills, logging camps, coal mines, something we did not have at all previously, and that's our most powerful. There's not much going on in there. Lead mines, iron mines, coal mines, sulfur mines. We have access to so many things that we did not previously. Yeah, our worldview is about to expand to a whole nother level. Opium plantations. So opium is a thing here. Opium has some drawbacks. Check our infrastructure kind of throughout. Make sure we don't have any problems. Infrastructure is good. So everything has full access to the market. With the base that we have, I have a feeling we're going to do well to be able to expand quickly. So construction sector is one of the first things we need. We do need a government administration, though, as we are about to have a shortfall with what we are trying to do. Therefore, we do need a little bit more. So we'll get one on the go, but then we're going to get construction and go from there. I think a lot of agriculture needs to become active. Basic agriculture, we'll get some things like logging camps on the go as well. Ooh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Like I said, there's so much more at play this time than what we had last time. We've already got a law that we're going to try to get passed almost immediately. We have at least a couple that I think we're going to be pushing on in early days. And of course, grow that economy, but especially get those literacy rates and standard of living up. I think that's going to be the big key in early gameplay as we have a sizable population. I think the other thing we need to do here very early on, especially while we do have some influence, is we need to say hello to Russia. That's the worrying one. So yes, begin improving. And okay, just about okay attitude-wise there, but we need to improve here as well. Start with the 2 powerful neighbors and work at keeping them happy, possibly even making friends at some point. After that, then we can start focusing on expansion, but I think some internal strength is going to be the ability there. So much potential within our own border compared to what we had last time. Even if we were to play tall, we could do more than we ever did on the previous one. But I do think targets like Makran and Kalat are going to be the easiest to get after. Bahrain would be an easy target to get after. There are options. There are options going forward. That is our first look, though, at our next playthrough, which is Persia. Ashanti obviously did not end the way we wanted it to, but again, it was a wonderful learning experience, and I think the beginner phase of learning Vicky 3 is now behind me, and hopefully behind us, behind you as well as a viewer, as we are now ready to step into a more advanced playthrough here with Persia. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.